hassle in their life, and they already had hassles in their life, and they really didn't need this. But the human spirit will come through like it never does when things are going right. I will just tell you that. And that's where the depression turns into joy. That when you feel down and you feel like you have a weight on your chest, you're so depressed, you still can have joy, y'all. And sometimes depression is turned into a chemical imbalance where someone needs some medication help to do that, and that's perfectly fine if you need medication to do that. It really makes me angry when people say, well, you shouldn't need drugs to help you, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And if they could pull themselves up from their bootstraps, they would, because depression really sucks. But sometimes they can't, and medication is needed, and it makes me mad when people say they shouldn't need it, because especially if they are wearing a pair of glasses. Because I'm like, let me snatch those glasses right off your face, because apparently you don't need them. Yeah, if people need help medically in order to survive, that's an okay thing. That's an okay thing. If you need it, and you truly need it, not you're abusing it, if you truly need it, then you do what you need to do. But I can tell you this, you can still have joy in the Lord either way. When we turn to the Lord in these tough times, I promise you He will give you peace. If you turn to Him. You have to keep your eyes on Him. You have to turn to Him. But that doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. Do y'all know that? That's not the same thing as joy. Like you can have a joy in sorrow. You can have... there's a lot of people that are experiencing a certain kind of joy today when they see each other. They're helping each other pick up trash. They're helping each other view their home for the first time, and they're holding each other and crying. And that is an appropriate kind of joy that human beings have with each other when they go through heartache together. And it is not happiness. They're not happy, but they're in joy of their relationship with each other, and that they survived, and that the sun will rise again tomorrow unless God says, no, I'm done. And for people who don't believe on Christ yet, I hope He doesn't say He's done yet, because He's waiting. And He knows when the last person will say, I'm coming for you. I am receiving you into my heart, Lord. He knows when the last person who's going to do that does that. And then He's going to send His Son back. The Lord Jesus. But as I was saying about joy, sometimes people try to make joy be happiness. And it's not the same thing. Joy can be in the midst of unhappiness and sorrow. And happiness is just honestly when you're very happy because your heart's lifted in the sense of nothing's really going wrong. And you're kind of in a state of thankfulness and happiness. You're enjoying. Whereas you cannot enjoy the heartaches of life but still have joy in the midst of it. And a lot of that comes from where God touches the human heart and uses that to us to help each other and to turn to Him and realize that He's real. Those are the times that it's just like when Peter was reached out to Christ, and as long as he kept his eyes on Christ, he was not sinking in the ocean. He actually walked on water with Jesus. But as soon as he took his eyes off of Jesus, that is such a key thing for us to notice, he started sinking. It's like, well, I feel like I'm sinking. I'm like, what is your eyes on? Is it on man? Is it on the circumstances? Is it on how you feel? If you will turn your gaze back to Jesus and only Jesus, keep your eyes focused on Him, you will not sink. You won't. But y'all, you have to choose. That is a choice to focus on Him and Him alone. Not anybody else, not on any circumstances, not anything. But you're just going to focus on Him. Then it will be enough. He'll be enough. He already is enough. It's just whether or not you choose to look at Him instead of your circumstances. And again, if what you're going through isn't circumstantially based, if it is a chemical imbalance, and people get those, are sin-ridden bodies, they were perfect, but they're not perfect anymore. Every one of us has health issues of some sort. And if we don't have it yet, we will. That's just the part of the fallen state of the body. Eventually, you'll get something. And sometimes it can start young in children, and sometimes it can be the oldest person doesn't have anything for a long time, and then all of a sudden they have issues too. And so I am just like on a little soapbox, aren't I? The thing is, I want to mourn today. I choose to mourn today with people that I know are heartbreaking right now. Their heart's breaking. They're devastated. And rightfully so. I mean, when people say, well, it's just a home, it's just property, that's true. And don't think they don't know that. They know that they got out of there alive, and that's what matters, is that they got out alive. A lot of times their families got out alive.